Yes, let me do it.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, present you like as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling with Savage. We have December 6, 2023, and we're going to be talking about All Elite Wrestling, the weekly update. I'm going to bring in my co-host, my partner, my tag teammate, Jay in the house. Tonight it's All Elite. My partner,
All Elite.
It is All Elite. We'll start off, I guess, with Rampage. Did you catch Rampage this week?
Not at all.
Not at all? Nothing? Not even a little bit?
Look at the card.
You see anything out here that's worth DVRing?
Can't watch this, man. It's bad.
Well, I got to tell you, there was something good from this.
Danhausen?
Maybe, if you're a Danhausen fan.
Yeah, there he is.
This was the typical 8-man tag match. Everyone spent a little time in the ring, but Hook was clearly the focus on the babyface side. The crowd popped for a few fun spots and moments, too, whoever was there. Danhausen scored the pin for his team, which was nice to see after he spent so much time on the shelf. Now, this is the highlight of the night, okay? This is the highlight of the night. And without a doubt, because it's star power. It's Sting and Ric Flair. They came out to give a promo and talk about their history together. Sting talked about facing Flair on the first and last episodes of Nitro. He also gave Bam Bam Bigelow a shout out. Funny, I was talking about Bam Bam Bigelow yesterday to Rob Van Dam. So he's still getting this, but it's iconic. It's still an iconic moment. It doesn't matter when these two get in the ring. Because they're both icons, it's always going to be an iconic moment. They can't overplay this situation because it's leading to Sting's retirement. We'll talk a little more about Sting and Flair in a little bit. After that promo, Takeshita, Hobbs, Fletcher, they defeated 3 guys in a squash match that,
they're going far.
Does this even serve any real purpose? Why aren't these guys on?
They can't get over. They suck. They can't get over.
Why aren't any of them in this tournament? None of them are causing swerve problems. And it's sad because up until this point of December, I'll tell you, up until this point, Jay, I thought Don Callis was in the running for manager of the year. But, this last month now, November and December coming in now, he's looking hella weak. His team, his squad's looking hella weak. They're not being booked strong. So how can you be manager of the year when you're managing guys that are just getting squash matches against bums?
Because they're mid-carders. You can't get them over. That's it. I've been telling you about these 3 guys. I don't know why you're surprised.
Because I'm not the one booking it. Now we have a trios match here. Some big names.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Saraya.
This makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. This bout did address a couple of different feuds and storylines, but no real advancements were made. This match was fun if you like watching women just get tossed around. It did have a good energy. It was nice to see so many women being featured at once, especially since the bout lasted about 2 segments. After Ruby accidentally kicked Anna, the babyfaces were able to get the win when Blue pinned her. But of course, Jay probably thinks this is crap. Look at this. Here's underutilized. I'm looking tonight at Dynamite, and I'll spoil it for a little people. Toni Storm had I believe she had a match, and then Soho comes out to no pop, no ovation. The crowd didn't give a shit, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, why? Where's Ruby Soho? Where's Saraya? Why aren't we seeing Toni Storm fight them? Why is Athena just sitting in Ring of Honor being underutilized, dude? As much as I love Toni Storm right now, if they're not going to feed her some serious contenders, how is she supposed to look strong, Jay?
Well, first of all, you shot yourself in the foot. I mean, you booked her with Saraya and you booked her with Ruby Soho in a group, so it doesn't make sense they're gonna go after her. I don't really care about Britt Breaker. She could stay home. Riho, this just what tells you that I've been telling you forever and ever. There's no storylines in the women division. And when you don't have storylines and when you don't build programs, nobody cares. I can't even believe Riho comes out. It makes no sense. Excalibur tried to tell us, oh, but she was attacked by Saraya and Ruby Soho and then back in the day. Like, okay, so now I'm supposed to be interested in this program at what, December 30th at the Nassau Coliseum?
Yeah, I'm not interested at all.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
When you don't build stars and you don't build storylines, you get nothing. And that's what we got tonight.
The sad thing is he tries to build storylines, but they don't have any real,
No, Savage.
They're not going anywhere.
It's not about storylines. It's not about storylines. Tony Khan doesn't build characters.
Well,
that's what it is.
Storylines that he's picking or building on don't
characters. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear people to tell me, oh, Sky Blue, she got a great character. No, she doesn't. She's basically stealing the same shit that Julia Hart had. Only difference is Julia Hart is better than her.
I don't know.
It's true. Is it not true? Sky Blue comes out with that I miss. Why are we still doing that? It's been 3 to 4 months. Why are we still doing it? Because you have no gimmick.
Well, she's embracing that. We don't know the truth, though. She might be just embracing that.
Come on.
Well, there's a statistic about face.
Obviously a face man. Tonight proves she's a face, period.
There's statistics about people with face paint, though, all right? They happen to go on to have pretty legendary careers if they survive the first year. That's true. It's true. Sky Blue is a star. I mean, but I don't know if you're going to do anything.
Blue looked really great tonight.
She did, actually. She looked fantastic. Maybe not the way you want. Maybe not the way you want.
Yeah, she looked fantastic. She was sitting during half of the match on the outside.
Cage ended up leaving the match early, which left Henry and Drake to fight all three opponents. It was ultimately too much for them, and Vikingo scored the pin with a beautiful 630 senton. Great spots, but again, this match, I've seen it. Like, if you've seen one of their matches, you've seen all of them. I think this was a little underplayed because how much time do they really have to go on Rampage? So they did their usual spots. The fans popped. I guess they liked it.
Yeah, the 800 that were there.
Now, the Collision lineup is a little more just like, basically focused on this Continental Classic. It's the Blue League. We start off with Claudio versus Brody King. Both men left everything in the ring to deliver a physical performance that neither competitor would soon forget. The more punishment they dished out, the harder it was to predict who would actually get the win. King was able to score the win to become the first star in the Blue League to up his score to 6 points. And honestly, Jay, this was a fun match from start to finish.
This was a good opening match, I got to say. It was both physicality. Claudio Castagnoli lifting up basically Brody King and doing the uppercut. Even though Claudio Castagnoli was doing minor few moves and exchanging chops, I liked it. And I think it does elevate Brody into being taken as a serious competitor in this tournament.
Yeah, no, I mean, he looked great. The match was really good. Good way to kick off the night. So Collision started off right. We continue with Kiera Hogan versus Abaddon. Abaddon used a unique version of a DDT to pick up the win. The lights went out after the match, and when they came back on, Julia Hart was in the ring. She disappeared again. This was clearly done to set up a possible feud or alliance. Time will tell. Jay, where do you think they're headed with that? Is that going to be an alliance, or is this a feud?
Nah, I think it's destiny for them to feud. It makes sense. But, I mean, these are two women. Once again, you're just having the back. Kiera Hogan, former TNA Impact champ, and she's just sitting in the back. She had a lot of offensive moves, but she came up with another loss. I mean, what are we doing here? That Beetlejuice girl over there, she has improved from what I've seen, but this match makes sense to me. I think it needs to happen.
I think it is going to happen. I think that's the direction they're going into. Now we're going to move on to Daniel Garcia taking Andrade on. And on paper, you're like, damn, I can't wait to see this match because they're both athletic. They're both talented. And Andrade, let's be honest, Andrade is an absolute stud. He is on the caliber of a world champion. He has the character, the presentation, And, if we're talking about just pure wrestling ability, the guy can go in the ring. Garcia did his best, but El Idolo was just a little too much for him this week. He picked up the win to put his score up to 6 points. They showed each other respect by shaking hands once it was over. Jay, what did you think about the match, and how do you feel about his new look with his new manager?
I mean, I don't like it because I think he was doing fine by himself. He improved on his English. I mean, he still takes a while to just get everything out, but it has improved. I don't like it. As the match, I'm not a fan of it. Why? Because Garcia always loses every Saturday for the last 3 weeks. So why am I surprised he lost this week? I mean, come on, guys. Let's rewatch everything, and you know what I'm talking about.
I feel like he's been losing a lot of this year, to be honest. Like,
I just don't see it, and it was a decisive win. That's it.
House of Black taking on Christopher Daniels, Matt Seidel. I guess that match is coming up later. I guess what's this right here? Even though the two big powerhouses got in some offense. Oh yeah, the Vikings. What is it? Iron Savages? I call them.
Christopher Daniels, you've changed.
Yeah, no. This is another match between the Iron Savages and I believe the Kingdom.
Who cares, man?
Kingdom got the win. Who does care about that match? I mean, what are they even doing with Iron Savages? At best, they're like the purest
little jobbers.
Filler content. Yeah. They're not taken seriously at all. But the Kingdom, though, we're gonna let's wait for the Kingdom because I actually want to get into the Kingdom later tonight. Roderick Strong had a promo on Dynamite that we're going to talk about. Now here we are. We immediately get another tag team match with. My bad. I messed up the slides tonight. Hardbody. So what happened here? House of Black had a match with who?
They basically
Christopher Daniels and Matt Seidel, and that's another squash match. Here's that one. Yeah. Another squash match. So basically, two squash matches in a row.
I was surprised this match went a little longer, and the other guys had some moves. Seidel and Daniels.
Daniels is a veteran. Seidel is.
I was just surprised it wasn't a squash. That's all I'm saying. I was surprised.
It's a squash.
It wasn't bad.
It's a squash in sense of like who's going to win before the match starts, though. No, it's because these guys can deliver, though.
I was surprised it wasn't. You have to make House of Black strong, so why not?
FTR confronted House of Black after the match. Black tried to recruit them to the house, but FTR didn't look interested. Black and Matthews jumped them and pointed how nobody came to save FTR. So FTR obviously still in the mix at AEW. Do you think FTR goes to WWE?
I think so when the contract's done. It makes sense.
That's a nice sequence right there with that curb stomp.
Yeah, it was good.
We have Kip Sabian versus Vikingo.
Oh boy,
Sabian came close to getting the win a few times, but the Luchador had his number and hit a 630 to earn a victory. He offered Sabian his hand, but his show of sportsmanship was rejected. Sabian can go. Vikingo's been getting really over with the fans here. Jay, you don't sound happy about this match.
I'm really sad about Sabian. He had a nice gimmick and they just killed it. And this guy, Mr. Sloppy over there, just wants to fly all over the ring thinking he's doing cool moves. In reality, he's just doing sloppy spots. So I wasn't a fan of the match. I just felt sorry for Kip Sabian, to be honest.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. We get into the main event now for Collision. Bryan Danielson taking on Eddie Kingston. Kingston started focusing on Danielson's injured orbital bone during the second half, but the American Dragon kept himself in the fight, and his running knee hit for the win. This was a hard-hitting match, but most Eddie Kingston matches are. Bryan Danielson still looks phenomenal in the ring, but to me, it's kind of obvious that there's no way Eddie Kingston's going to be able to overcome this match. But I guess a lot of people were hoping that Eddie Kingston would somehow pull out the win. At least that's what I heard. What did you think about this matchup, Jay?
Eddie's a bum. It's right there on your slide, right there. He's even looking at it. Yes, I am a bum. That's what he's basically thinking, and it's the truth. I mean, overall, let's talk about the match. Bryan Danielson can make anybody a good match, and we just saw it against a technician, against a brawler. So it was a good match. But overall, we all knew Kingston was going to take the loss.
Definitely a good match. Kingston, though, put up his best fight, but that's not going to be enough to take out the American Dragon, who seems to have all the stroke in AEW right now. AEW. It looks like he can find people. It looks like he can fire people. It looks like he can hire people. It looks like he can give people the rub, the push. And I think if he wants to be the world champion, all he has to do is go like that. But I don't think he wants it right now. I don't think he needs it. He knows he doesn't need it. He already has the rub from the WWE. Yeah, or the rest. When you have that WrestleMania main event kind of rub that he has, that lasts forever.
Honestly, if I started at home, I think I want to finish at home, not stick around on a company.
He's probably having fun right now, having more freedom, creative control. For everybody has their different reasons, Jay, and that's why
fighting this guy is fun. Please,
well, he probably booked it, man. But now we're gonna get into my favorite part of the night. So we're going to do a little breaking news over here. And Jay, we got a lot to talk about in breaking news. AEW's got a lot to talk about. AEW Revolution poster pays tribute to Sting's varied gimmicks throughout his career. We all knew that was going to happen. They're definitely going to take advantage of that merchandise. They're probably going to make Sting classics. They're going to go all out with this shit. I promise you that. Chris Jericho isn't leaving AEW for a long time with his current contract. So he is committed to AEW. He's going to go down with the ship. Chris Jericho shakes up Vietnam Pro Wrestling with an unexpected appearance. Did you hear about this, Jay?
Oh.
Gotta admit, that's kind of cool that Jericho, I mean, I'm sure he was in the area.
He needs to get popped, so he needs to go to Vietnam to get a pop.
Oh, he definitely got a pop in Vietnam, but come on, think about it. Let's say you're at some random independent show and Chris Jericho just shows up. You would pop too, man.
I don't make this up. 50-year-old something, just trying to relive like he's 20.
So wait, that doesn't so because he's 50-something, that doesn't change the fact that he's an absolute living, walking legend. How dare you disrespect the GOAT, Chris Jericho?
Tell me this guy has great matches.
No disrespect to Ocho. Kenny Omega. He's booked for 12-9 AEW Collision, so watch out Saturday night if you're a Kenny Omega fan. His match is coming up. Mercedes Moné, potential deal with AEW may have pulled off. I'm okay with that. Matt Hardy acknowledges being very upset with AEW right now as far as they're getting booked. And we're going to see where this leads to. A lot of people are putting words in his mouth saying that he's like done with AEW. Hasn't really confirmed anything like that. Just said he's not as happy with the booking as it could be. Bottom line. Miro springs to Ric Flair's defense. A lot of wrestlers actually came to Ric Flair's defense after a controversial post about quitting AEW. Basically, people were saying Flair is not, what was it that happened? He made a comment, right, to the audience saying anybody that's over 21 and single, come meet me in my room. And I think all the snowflakes of the world freaked the hell out. That would happen?
Yeah, that's what he basically does all the time.
Basically, I'll tell you right now, if you're a snowflake and you're watching this show, you should stop now, delete me, ban me, because I don't care about your feelings. That's not what I get paid to do. I get paid to care about my feelings.
He gets paid to shut up, so maybe he should just shut up and stop cutting promos or doing any segments, please.
Well, I got some more on that, which we're going to in a minute. Jack Perry no longer under AEW suspension. We did not see Jack Perry tonight, that's for sure. We'll talk about Dynamite in a little bit. This is a little upsetting to read. Kyle O'Reilly's AEW return remains uncertain, with no set timetable for him to come back. So his injury must be pretty bad, man.
He was actually backstage, so I don't think.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't think he's ready to come back anytime soon.
Good. Don't come back. Don't.
Why? He was one of their best wrestlers before he left.
Yeah. Now look what we have now. Clown show.
Well, that's why I wanted to come back.
We have guys dressed up as devils, for God's sakes.
So apparently during the Collision taping, so this Saturday, Collision was already taped already, just so everybody knows. They already taped Collision. Collision will not be live. But Bryan Danielson was actually, there was an injury scare at the Collision, and people were very worried and concerned that he was genuinely going to be out for a while. The update is that he's okay. So
you said he booked it.
He probably did book it. He booked it.
Well, he gets what he deserves, right?
He does.
You said it. He booked it. There you go.
He does.
Get what he deserves.
Once a week, ladies and gentlemen, you are lucky enough to sit with me, the greatest wrestling analyst in the world today, better than David LaGreca, better than Jim Cornette. Jay over here has more honest takes.
Better than any party, Christmas party, whatever it is.
Jay's got better takes than Charlemagne the God. More brutal, more honest. We're out here just...
Savage is the beast, so...
Once a week, we do Wrestling with Savage, the WWE version, and then once a week, we do Wrestling with Savage, the AEW version.
This is the fun.
Right? Hasn't it worked out better like this, Jay? Isn't it way easier to just do 2 shows?
Yeah, it's about to end already in 10 minutes.
We don't have to waste our time with Impact. We don't have to waste our time watching a lot of this mumble-jumble garbage.
Impact still going?
Oh, TNA, right? It's TNA now?
I stopped, man.
You believe these guys in the chat tonight? Like, Thomas really wants to get into that busted open Christmas party so he can go bother David LaGreca.
I think he got ticket at his house. I think he does.
I'm mad at Tom, all right? Total Tom, who no longer really supports our show, watches our show, doesn't participate in the chat. Total Tom thinks...
There's those tickets.
He had an autograph signing today. 0 people came to meet him. Tough day at the office.
Maybe it was the weather.
Tough day at the office. Off the better news, though. BPW's having huge... Yeah, Jacob Fatu, Dan Math at DEF CON 1, December 16th and 17th. It's going to be a 2-day extravaganza. We're going to have the first ever BPW World Champion get crowned. Going to be very cool. Make sure you're watching it on the Premier Streaming Network, where you can also watch shows like Saturday Morning Superstars at 10 a.m. every Saturday. In case you missed it, the Party with Marty podcast, we did episode 9, Surviving the Warrior. And now we filmed episode 10, which will be premiering tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Legendary guest Rob Van Dam will be on the show. Everybody's going to watch that tomorrow. Rob Van Dam's going to tweet it out tonight, Instagram story, the whole 9. And Rob, I don't know if you noticed, but he's got a few million followers all over the world because he is the whole fucking show. And I'll say the F word for him because that's what he is. Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Saturday Night. He's a legend.
He could take Claude Van Damme.
Above all, he's actually a really cool guy. Down to earth, just chill, and loves Marty Jannetty. That's why he was on the Party with Marty to talk about life and professional wrestling. You can watch that episode tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Make sure December 16th, you come on down to the Icons of Wrestling. You can meet all 5 of these ladies at the same time for $100. Super combo. Santa Claus will be there. Santa's workshop will be in full effect. We will be selling video games, wrestling memorabilia, collector's items, autographs. I mean, a lot of stuff. Wrestling toys, action figures. We're going to have free cookies and ice cold milk all day long. Free cookies, ice cold milk, and the 5 baddest baddies at the 2300 Arena. So come on down and meet future legends Izzy Moreno, Nikki Duke, Ultraviolet, Black Dahlia, Zaya Brookside. Zaya Brookside's from
that's
NXT.
the Bailey girl, right? That's the Bailey fan?
Yes. Yes. It's going to be interesting.
That'd be cool.
You can also go to ProWrestlingTeeStore.com and search for Wrestling with Savage. Search for the Wrestling Universe. Search for Party with Marty. Support all of us. We all work very hard to nonstop bring you wrestlers to the Wrestling Universe, and that's what we do. The guys at the Wrestling Universe, Lewis, Jack, Danny, Todd, Joe, Puppet Master, all these people who bust their ass. Yes. Even Salvatore goes out of his way to bring you professional wrestlers at the Wrestling Universe, like Elijah Burke, like Taryn Terrell. By the way, this was canceled. I got to take that slide out. I'm sorry. So Calval will be there. Mackenzie Mitchell, fresh off NXT. She just got released like a week ago. She's going to be there Saturday. Going to be there Saturday. Velvet Sky. And you know what? I really want to talk to Mackenzie Mitchell because who else is going to have who's going to have the scoop about Tiffany Stratton, about Carmelo Hayes, about Wes Lee, about Dragunov, about Braun Breaker.
If I was her, I would just take no other job and just wait till WWE calls me again.
Would you have any questions? Maybe Jay has some questions for Mackenzie. He can give me to ask.
Yeah, I would tell her, listen, don't take no job offer. Sit back and relax. They will call you back.
Yeah, they will. She was good.
Yeah,
she was good. So Velvet Sky, Sammy Callahan, the list goes on. Kushida, Steve Kern, Rika Tatsumi, We have a Funkadactyl in the house. Cameron's going to be there.
Nobody really cares about that.
Nah, Miley Grace, that's huge. Come on. Prince Nana!
I would say Miley Grace.
Along with this guy, man. Maybe you've heard of this guy. He's pretty popular.
Who's house?
He's pretty popular right now. Why don't you have a word with him?
What's going on, everybody? This is AEW star Swerve Strickland. And December 29th, I am coming to Queens, New York, the Wrestling Universe, for a signing between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Get your reserves. Get there. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. Whose house? Swerve's house, baby.
That's right. Swerve's house, December 29th. We've been selling pre-orders like crazy. Go to the wrestlinguniverse.com. wrestlingwithsavage.com. Pre-order your combo. Make sure you come on down and celebrate. Get ready to bring in the new year with Savage, with Swerve, with Prince Nana, and everybody at the Wrestling Universe as we continue to bring you signings like Maximum Male Models, Matt Riddle, Alberto Del Rio, Spike Dudley, Danny Doring, Roadkill, Just Incredible, Chris Chatty, Francine, Steve Carino, super rare appearance. We have Jack
That's a really good one.
Raven, Sandman, Todd Gordon.
Now,
Of course, right here.
Are you going to get the ECW title?
What?
Do you plan on getting the ECW title?
You know what, Jay? It's funny
You
that you
should.
say that.
You should.
It's funny that you say that because it's the only title that pretty much world heavyweight wise that kind of eludes me.
You should, especially that day. Steve Carino. Oof. God, man.
You know, it's funny because they've been
That's
asking me for
cool.
weeks now, what do I want for my birthday? Maybe what I want is the ECW World Heavyweight Championship replica.
It's a lot of great signatures there, man. I could see it now. I wonder if Gilch got that.
Nah, I don't think he does. If I tell him he doesn't have it, he'll
Nah,
probably get
wait.
it.
So you guys are belt collectors and you guys do not have the ECW.
Dude, you know why? Because I have a specific list of belts. Like, the next one on my list was the IC title or the Ted DiBiase money title. But, you know,
I like the hardcore.
yeah, Gilch has that one. We got it signed by Kane, and we're going to get it signed by Raven, who, by the way, is the...
That is dope.
You know, Raven's like a 57-time hardcore champion.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's that belt is dope though.
Yeah,
That
hardcore championship.
ECW title though? Wow. The original?
The original.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I get Rob, get Raven. You can get Steve Carino, Sandman. Just Incredible, too, I think, was ECW.
That's Incredible was champ.
Yeah.
Steve Carino, and then we used to have battles. But
You know who was never ECW champion? Bully Ray.
Well, yeah, that's a given. But
Never.
I thought you meant like a single star. Like
I'm just talking trash. Spike Dudley definitely was an ECW champion. Sabu?
RVD was champ, was he?
Yeah.
The original times. Not this new modern. Not this new modern.
I think it was the modern.
Oh.
I think the ECW championship was awarded to him by Paul Heyman 2 days after he beat John Cena.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he was the ECW TV champion back in the day.
Yeah, that's another belt too, man.
Oh. But you can get him to sign it. I guess we got to start talking about Dynamite, right?
It's about to end in a minute, but
What was your favorite part of the night tonight?
I'm gonna say there were certain parts that I like, but I'm gonna say the end because I predicted it for weeks. The last match.
No, tonight's main event, which we're going to save for then, Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. Big match, huge match. I mean, this could have been a pay-per-view match. It probably should have been a pay-per-view match. And guess what? Because of what happened tonight, which we're going to get into in a little bit, it's definitely going to be a pay-per-view match. It will continue. Right. This is not the end. But this is the thing I wanted to speak on Ric Flair. This is obviously AEW's response to Ric Flair. He said, "Oh, you want to quit?" This is what we say. We're going to make you a new shirt.
I want that in blue, though.
In blue?
Yeah, not red. Blue.
Why?
Because I think it's better in blue. Like a royal blue.
Okay.
I think it just stands out.
Timeless Tony Storm is going to have a championship match later tonight. Jon Moxley versus Roosh. kicks us off Gold League Continental Classic. And you know what? I absolutely love this match except for the ending, because classic wrestling, when someone has a chokehold on you, the referee's supposed to grab your arm and try to lift it up, and it falls. Ah, I'm alive. Where was that?
Yeah, Savage. I thought there was some spots that was a little dangerous too. How about that when he picked him up for that pile driver, Roosh, and Moxley had to basically go down? I don't think he was in position. I think he was going to get another concuss, and then they just did a regular pile driver. I mean, I don't know. I thought this was a good physical opener. I think Roosh kind of made Moxley okay, but it was good physicality. You know what it reminds me of, Savage? Those New Japan matches, like Strong Style. I think that's what this tournament kind of is. No, we've been kind of seeing matches, and I'm talking about Strong Style, like the fact that these guys exchange chops more than 5 times in a match, which I hate, but that's kind of like Strong Style, isn't it? Because Nakamura does it. So
this moment right here kind of reminded me of like an old school 80s Sportatorium match, and I felt like when they were in this center shot where there's nothing around them except concrete with the spotlight on them, and it looked so visually appealing, I was really upset that they moved away from it so fast. I felt like this is where they should have had that vicious exchange of chops and punches and shots, and they should have stayed in that spotlight for about a minute or two and really worked that spot. They didn't. They moved on quickly to the ring, back inside, back to the same stuff we see all the time. That looks different. They just should have took advantage of that moment, but it's harder to tell. I guess you can't really see what you're doing sometimes. You're just following the plan of the match, not realizing that something looks good because of lighting and shadow and whatever. I don't know. Anyway, he chokes him out, and the ref just stops the match, which I'm not a fan of. Why is the ref stopping the match?
Because they always mess it up.
Anyway, we know why Moxley won, because Moxley is the bigger opponent between the two for a potential opponent for the finals or quarterfinals or whatever they're going to do. So, what's going to sell more tickets? Swerve versus Moxley or Swerve versus Roosh? It's going to be Swerve versus Mox. Bottom line. Jay White has a promo with Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal again running his mouth saying that when he's backed up into a corner, he can perform and this and that. Jay Lethal has been a loser in this tournament thus far. And, anyway, that match is coming up in a little bit. But first, I want to touch on this promo by Roderick Strong. I thought Roderick Strong actually absolutely shined in this promo.
Oh, come on.
I did. I liked it. He got up from the wheelchair, and it was motivating to see, Jay. It's motivating.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead. Tell the people.
I personally did not like this promo. I mean, we all know, for God's sakes, he got up a wheelchair about weeks ago. He had freaking 2 matches. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but that set him back.
I give up the wheelchair. And this guy would do anything for a pop. Renee, Samoa. What's next? Maxwell. Like, come on. How many times is this gimmick going to keep going? I mean, I'm over it, Savage.
Maybe he's the devil.
This guy went from the Messiah of the Backbreaker into Adam. Think about that first.
No, it's actually more like Adam.
The Messiah of the Backbreaker is a good name. This is just, it sucks. It sucks.
Well, nonetheless, this is probably the best he's looked on camera.
They got you tonight.
Now, here we go with the match of the night. And yes, this was the match of the night. Without a doubt, these two gentlemen absolutely killed it. Mark Briscoe took Swerve to his limit, as he should. And Swerve, of course, knows he's going to win. But before we can talk about the match,
I definitely want to talk about this.
We got to talk about this, Jay. Hangman's having a nice interview with Renee Paquette. Along comes MJF, and he starts talking some shit. They start verbally going back and forth. Honestly, Jay, I thought Hangman did much better tonight than he's done in the past with MJF. I wasn't the biggest fan of this, I didn't think this was like incredible or anything like that. All I'm gonna say is, I thought Hangman did a little better tonight than the last time he verbally exchanged with MJF. What do you have to say? Because I already know, but go.
I'm already losing my voice. Holy shit! I'm sorry for cursing everybody, but this guy Adam Hangman Page, this guy Savage said he could. First of all, Savage, this was random. This was unnecessary. Period. MJF just accusing him is just totally random. Well, let me get into Adam Page because you liked it. You liked it, right? Right, Savage? This was good. This was good, right? Yes, it was. This was a good promo by Adam Page tonight, right? Can I read one line, just one line from his promo tonight, so I could tell you why this guy is a bust. Okay, here it is. I ain't gonna be sitting at home, 70 years old, telling your ninth cat about your 1 year reign. What the F? That makes sense to you, Savage? No, it doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't know why everybody don't believe me that this guy cannot cut a promo for his life. It just showed it with that one line I read. It showed it tonight. He tries to carry himself as this big guy, but he's not, Savage. I'm sorry. I don't care how many matches he had, good or bad. It's just bad. Now you know why we took the belt off this guy. He cannot carry a program, cannot build. This is a problem, Savage. I'm pretty sure they taught you that in wrestling school, didn't they?
Yeah, they tell me a little something. That wasn't his strongest line at all. That was probably the weakest. It was that part. You gonna let me finish? That line was weak. You're not wrong. But the rest of it, the way he delivered it, it like I said, he did better than the last time he was in there with MJF. But there was no. It wasn't like I need to see what's going to happen from this. I felt like a little bit like you had said. It's a little random. Came out of nowhere. Came out of left field.
Yeah, like
accusing him. Came out of left field. Yeah, the cat. That was a weak line, but it was a little better after that. It was a little better after that. I thought it would have been better if Hangman didn't talk at all and just slapped Maxwell. But I did like the part at the end where Joe comes in. It gets a little interesting here. What did you think about this when Joe came in?
Basically, Tony Khan put an audible, and I would have done the same. I would have been like, Joe, get out there right now, please. We're losing fans. We're losing viewership. Please cut this promo. We put commercial. That's what I would have done. I would have done the same thing Tony Khan did right here.
Do you think Joe's going to win this match?
No, Savage. Listen, I hate MJF because, listen, everybody. I hate MJF because this is not MJF. This is a program, MJF. They're basically telling him what he has to do. This is not him being natural. So when I say his run is lackluster, when I say there's too many multiple opponents to go after his belt, when I say he is holding a mediocre mid-level tag team championship that attracts mid-level jobbers and just basically ruins his championship reign, I mean it. I don't know why you guys love this or like this. It's just bad. And tonight, I'm sorry to tell everybody at home, including you, Savage, this was random. This was unnecessary. Okay, out of nowhere, I'm just going to say you're the devil. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever.
That's a little random. I thought Hangman getting thrown in there a little random.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. It didn't make sense. It didn't fit the description. Joe coming in for the save, that keeps it going. I just don't know how Hangman's going to go from having that match with Swerve and then just being thrown in the mix with MJF and Samoa Joe. Not sure where that piece of the puzzle fits.
We'll see.
But maybe time will tell. Maybe there's an intricate story being told here. I doubt it. But hey, right? I'd rather expect greatness and then receive shit. What do you want from me?
Do you have an Adam Page figure in your collection?
Yeah, I do.
Then I know why you take him serious. Then I know why you like the guy. All right. It's fine.
You would have an Adam Cole if you wanted to. You love it. Here
we go.
Now listen, Jay, will you agree with me on this? that this guy didn't have the same reaction that he's had the last couple of weeks? Like, did it feel like the crowd wasn't that into it?
I just think everybody's expecting a big pop. Listen, everybody's dancing when he comes out, so it's working, for God's sakes. I think everybody should just relax, chill, not over-exaggerate, not overthink it. Just go match by match. Obviously, next week is going to be a big pop match. It's Moxley and him. I got him. So everybody should just chill out and not overreact.
As do I, but this match was fire, though. These guys
This is a great
definitely
match. This is a match of the night.
match of the night without a doubt, but Swerve still looking strong, book strong,
Building
picks up
momentum.
the win. What happened in this interview? Because I was doing something. I was dealing
You
with.
should have pronounced a word. And Renee corrected her on TV. That's what happened. She tried to say, I don't know the word. It's a big word. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like a fool myself. We can look it up, or you can look it up right now. But it was a word. She tried to say it twice, and Renee had to correct her. And then she basically repeated what Renee said. And I was like, oh my God, like this is just
Yeah. Well, again, it wasn't good enough for me to stop what I was doing, because actually, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be honest. I was dealing with a lawyer and a contract confliction and making sure that the lawyer understands the way it's going to be. Because you know what's funny, Jay? I love doing my show because I can say whatever I want. I know that douchebag's not watching, but the world's filled with douchebags that don't want to do their job but want to complain about it when it's time to do their job. Nobody does a good job, Jay. All right? They sent me a thing in the contract. I read the contract. I point out, hey, there's a mistake right here. There's a mistake. You need to fix this mistake. And they're like, oh, that doesn't matter. That's not a big deal. Yes, it is a big deal, because what if I wake up the day of and then it is a big deal?
I think they call it a contract.
Exactly. Do your job. Don't go to work if you don't want to work. It's that simple. Or find another job that you want to go do.
Exactly.
Whether you're a wrestler, a booker, a promoter, or whether you work at Mickey D's. Ask me if I want fries with that. Don't work somewhere if you're not going to give your all. I'm sick of these millennials and next-gen kids that are now having these important jobs in society, and they don't have the work ethic, man. They're
just
lazy.
A different generation. That's what it is, man.
And she might be one of them. I feel like Renee Paquette. I feel like Renee Paquette's a way harder worker than that girl will ever be. Am I right or wrong?
I always thought she should have picked ESPN, man.
Well, she could always still go to ESPN, but am I wrong there? Because there's obviously an age difference, right? Renee comes from she's cut from a different cloth. This other girl's probably 10, 15 years younger. Do you think she has the same mindset that Renee has? Renee's out there trying to take over the world.
I think it's two different mindsets, but I mean, when you're cutting a promo live on TBS, you got to know how to pronounce words, man. I'm sorry. It's part of your profession. You can't mess up on camera, right?
Another reason
why when you were in school and wrestling, or you're cutting your promos now at the battlefield, you're not messing up words on freaking one take, or they shoot the camera live to you. I'm sure everything you're saying is perfect.
I try.
You don't go there.
I mean, if I might stumble, everybody stumbles sometimes, but it's how quickly you can recover.
She stumbled more than twice. She was trying to pronounce the word. It's like, if you can't say it once, then just cut it and go into something else. You got to think.
Now, see, to me, I'm not going to lie to you, Jay. This I thought was completely stupid. This kind of made me get turned off. This made me get turned off from the whole storyline.
I'm upset.
MJF, Samoa Joe, they're supposed to take on the Devil's Masked Man tonight. Joe comes out. He gets circled by the ring. Same kind of bullshit. The fact that he just comes out and they're there. It's like so repetitive. Nothing new, nothing different, nothing unique, nothing to really make me care. And then we just go to a camera shot. MJF laid out. Joe sees this. He runs out. And apparently there's broken beer bottle all around MJF. What do you have to say on this before we get to Mox?
Yeah, I'm upset, Savage, just at the fact that they promoted this for about almost a week and we got this. I mean, I wanted to see a match. Just want to say that there was a podcast I listened to, Jim Cornette, right? And he basically said that some guy on Twitter, I believe, basically from last week when Wardlow had the match, his hair was flat. But before that, there was a muscular guy attacking, MJF and whatnot. So they're saying it's basically that, because when you take off your mask, then your hair is basically flat. So I think that makes sense, Savage. I think we need to pay attention to that. I wouldn't mind it's Warlow, but at the end of the day, this took me out of the storyline too, man. I thought this was goofy.
I think it's a collection of people that have been approaching MJF over the last couple of weeks, kind of starting with him, because we've seen over the last few weeks, MJF had a moment with Wardlow. He had moments with Joe. He had moments with Hangman. He had moments with, a lot of different superstars that kept coming up to him and they're challenging him. Maybe this is a new faction of people that are coming together to take down MJF.
I think he needs surgery. Okay,
MJF?
If that was the case, then I really think this match is unnecessary. I think you should just have it and just rest, because let's face it, when's the next pay-per-view? February, March?
Yeah.
That'll give you enough time to just kind of heal, and it might give enough time for Adam Cole to just come back together and pick off. That doesn't mean you have to be off TV, but
that's not the story we're getting. The story we're getting is that he's taking on Samoa Joe. Do you think he's going to beat Samoa Joe, or is Samoa Joe taking that title from him?
No, I always saying Adam Cole, so I'm not gonna change my mind whatsoever. It's just a match that people want to see, but there's no build to it. It sucks.
Or maybe it's what Hangman's saying. Maybe MJF is the devil, and he's doing all this, and at the pay-per-view, he's not even going to wrestle.
You know
Joe's
what?
going to get jumped, and he's going to pin him.
They could have put Jack Perry as the devil, and then when he got suspended, they could just change it. They could just put anybody else. They could put Warlow. Like, you know what? Jack Perry messed up. We're going to put Warlow in now.
Yeah. Never
know. We'll see. It took me out of the story, though, tonight.
It definitely took me out of the story. This did not get me more hyped. If anything, it got me less hyped. Jon Moxley has another promo. He's basically talking crap to Swerve Strickland, who then comes out.
Swerve was good.
Swerve getting up in his face, Nana laughing at him. I thought this was excellent. And Jay, I'm going to ask you a question here, because I was in Tony's show earlier tonight, Tantalizing Tony. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Tantalizing Tony.
But Tantalizing Tony made a statement that he thinks Swerve Strickland will never be AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
I agree.
You agree?
I agree. Savage. Why would you not agree? We just talked about what this tournament was about. What is it about? What is it about? It's about Swerve winning, right? Winning those titles. I think that's what it is. I think it's just basically here, we're making you happy, but as world championship, I don't see it. I see that they're just trying to put a title on him to make him more relevant right now, but you can't tell me that a year from now or something like that, you can't look at him as a world heavyweight contender. Really? How many people have we said world heavyweight material? We said it about Warlow, for God's sakes.
Malachi Black, yeah, there's a few. Pac, I've said.
Okay. What happened to Pac? Pac had a good challenge at it. What happened to that?
Pac had moments of greatness, and then I don't know what's going on with him.
What happened to that?
I have no idea. You know what? I need to call Pac. I want to get Pac's number. Hopefully when I talk to Swerve, I can ask Swerve to give me Pac's number so I can call him. Sure. I'd like to work with him, book him, because Pac, to me, is incredible. And he's not. I
really think it's just a way to prevent Swerve from going for the championship this tournament.
You might not be wrong, but I disagree that he's. I'm not going to say he's going to be world champion, but I definitely think he's part of the conversation.
He is, but I still don't see it. I'm sorry.
Well, time will tell.
Too many other people ahead.
Well, what the hell's going on with this guy? All right, who's Ben?
I don't even know who he is. I don't even have Turner Classics. So I don't even know.
Who gives a shit about classic movies? But Toni Storm is a classic. She's a modern classic. She's going to come out and she's going to have a match right here.
We spoke about it.
And right here, this picture, man. God bless these ladies.
I wish you had the
this match, Jay. This was almost match of the night just for this spot right here. Am I wrong?
I think Storm is better.
But Toni Storm does what she does. She gets the win, and I loved how they did this spot in black and white. Like they're really killing her.
A few times, if you notice.
Yeah, but still, they changed the color on this one perfect. It was flawless, like her win. She's a champion. She's killing her character. And then this shit happened. We go from this, which is great,
This is bad.
and this, and she comes out to absolutely, bro. The
Who's
front
going
row,
to be interested?
bro. The front row. There's like 2 people clapping like this.
They probably work there.
Probably. Nobody gives a shit about.
How are you going to be interested at World's End this match?
But this comes to my conversation from earlier when I told you it's like, bro, what are they doing with Toni Storm? They need to have opponents lined up for her to beat up right now. She needs to beat up Ruby. She needs to beat up Saraya. She needs to beat up Athena.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. They had tag matches against each other. They had singles matches. They shot themselves in the foot. They jumped too early.
Where's Britt Baker?
You don't need her. She's not a good leader, Savage.
Who, Britt?
She cannot lead a match, for God's sake.
Who, Britt Baker?
Yes, I could lead a match, and I'm not a wrestler, okay?
Oh, boy.
Hip toss on drag, corner. Like, look.
What is this picture? What does this picture do to you when you see it?
I don't know. I think of like Rock and Roll Express, and I think of all that. I don't know. That's just
Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, like a little old school Rock and Roll Young Express. Just rolling around.
Okay.
Well,
that match, that was a little program they did during AEW to hype you up for the main event of the night. Now we're going to move on to Jay White versus Jay Lethal, another Continental Classic matchup coming down. Good match, okay, but dude, Jay Lethal, we know you're going to lose. That promo was a waste of time. They're not letting Jay White take an L to you. They got to keep him somewhat relevant. He was just in the heavyweight title picture.
Yeah, Savage. I had a problem with this match because everybody was telling me, oh, Jay White, you don't know what you're talking about, Jay. He's one of the great wrestlers in New Japan. All right, everybody. I said New Japan. I may be in the indies what you did with Jay Lethal years ago, but you're in 2023. It's a different ball game. It's a different generation, as Savage said. It's more modern, and nobody really likes this. I didn't like this match. I thought it was fine for Jay Lethal, but Jay Lethal's booked as a loser, so I know he's going to be losing tonight. But Jay White cannot be taken seriously. And I hope everybody watched this match. The crowd was not into Jay White whatsoever. I really hope people paying attention that he can't cut a promo. It's rough. This guy may be over there in New Japan, the biggest star. I mean, we've seen it with David Hasselhoff, for God's sakes. He's big up in Germany. This guy could be a big star in Japan. But over here, Savage, he's just admit it. And I think they have to admit Tony Khan and creative.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong one bit. I think this tournament, if it does anything besides make Swerve Strickland a new superstar and a Triple Crown champion, whatever,
what it is,
what it's going to do after that is it's going to tarnish a few careers. Long term, for new fans, like little kids growing up looking at this and seeing those big zeros next to Briscoe and Jay Lethal's names, because now when they grow up, they're going to remember this and say, oh, Jay Lethal was a loser. And Briscoe was a loser. They couldn't even get a win.
I'm so confused, Savage, because Jay Lethal was probably one of the hottest free agents, and he was always complaining about his previous company, that he's tired, he's not getting the shots, this and this. He finally gets a shot at a national TV program with AEW, and they built him into a nice star for like the first 3 months, I would say. Then they put him with the comedy act, and after that, he just stayed there. I don't know why people like him talk a lot of trash and all these free agents out there, and they cut all this crap, but then they're happy to take a paycheck and they're happy to do these kind of jobs. It's like, wait a minute, you were complaining you're getting the opportunity. They're doing the same thing. It's just more money, you idiot.
No, you're not wrong, because what happens is he got there, the money was good probably, and he got comfortable. He got complacent. He's probably not putting up a fight. He's probably not going to Tony Khan and saying, you know what the hell are you doing with me? He's probably just eating it. He's taking the scripts. He's taking it every week and running with it, man.
And so money just bought him. That's what it comes down to.
100%, because you got to imagine and you got to think about it, Jay Lethal is probably getting paid better now in All Elite Wrestling than he's gotten paid his entire career in all these other different companies. You have to think about that. How much do you think he was making an impact? How much do you think he's making on those independent shows?
Whatever Ring of Honor back in the day was the highest, he was definitely one of those guys.
But you're talking about he was probably making under $100,000 a year. Working
No.
everybody. Yeah.
No, carrying the company,
Pure contract money. Yeah,
That's like
he probably made more money from figures and
that's
signings.
basically saying we're paying Nick Aldis $100,000 a year at NWA for the last.
No,
3
Ring of Honor
years.
wasn't. Ring of Honor didn't have that salary.
He had money back in the day.
Not like that.
He was part of it. He was a television champ before he became champ. He was there for a while.
So
he was
what?
there with the good times.
So what?
He was one of the highest guys that got paid. That's all I'm saying. Whatever the match was, 500, 600, 700.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Grayson Waller's making bank on SmackDown right now?
No.
They're getting him for like.
But I'll tell you what.
99-cent prices.
I'll tell you what. I do believe he would be one of the highest NXTs when he was down there. I'm pretty sure he was there.
Yes, but still, compared to okay, he's in the ring with Kevin Owens, right? Do you know how much money Kevin Owens is making comparatively to Grayson Waller? Just to give you
probably 750, 800.
Bro, no, thousands of dollar difference per match.
He's not making $1 million. I don't believe KO is making $1 million.
KO's making millions.
Nah.
Yes.
Nah.
Millions.
Nah.
Millions. Yes, he's a star. He sells.
In Canadian money, but not.
All right, a lot to talk about coming up on Rampage. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen will appear. The question is, do you give a shit?
No.
Do that again. Do your pose. Okay, don't curse the show, though. Don't curse the show. Stop it. Be careful with it.
I do not give a shit. Let's move on.
Bryan Danielson will take on Andrade, and this is the match where I don't want to ruin it for you, but yeah, I kind of do. He got hurt. This was taped. He got injured. Supposedly. Hypothetically. Watch on Saturday, see what happens. Claudio takes on Eddie Kingston.
Oh, for the millionth time. Oh.
There's no way Eddie Kingston's winning this match, right?
No.
There's no shot in hell. No shot in hell.
Oh, okay. Look at this match.
I'm interested in this. Because I like Willow Nightingale. This is I think, going to be a good match for her.
Yeah, she lost the last 8 of her matches. I mean, I don't know why you're going to like this match.
She needs to get some momentum, goddammit, and Mercedes.
And Mercedes Martinez is your momentum.
Yeah, it's a lot of momentum there. Ethan Page taking on Kenny Omega.
I really don't care about this match. I really don't.
It's going to be a good match, though.
I think it's because of Ethan Page. That's why I don't care.
Ethan Page is in the best shape of his life right now.
Doesn't matter. He fought himself Savage on Impact.
Is Kenny Omega the best wrestler in AEW?
No.
Who is?
Without a doubt, Bryan Danielson. Hands down.
Better than Kenny?
Yes.
Is he a better in-ring performer?
I'd say he's better than Kenny because of the timing. I think his timing is better than Omega's.
Now, this match, I'm sure you're interested in next week's, what I'm sure to be main event. Swerve Strickland versus Jon Moxley. And that's going to be freaking, what a match, bro. But
I didn't even know winter is coming, so that's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, we both know who's going to win.
I'm definitely into this match. Definitely.
And speaking of Swerve Strickland, since there's more of you watching, make sure you come on down to the Wrestling Universe, Cheap Pop, December 29th, and meet Swerve Strickland. But next week, huge match on Dynamite. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. But I think Swerve Strickland is going to beat Jon Moxley.
Yeah, this is just bad, right?
Hangman, Adam Page taking on Roderick Strong next week. As Jay mentioned, winter is coming to All Elite Wrestling. And also, Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. Poor Mark Briscoe going to take another loss to Jay White. You know what? I hope that Mark Briscoe can beat Jay White. Like, to me, that's the happy ending to all this. Briscoe needs to go out with a win, man. We can't do him like that.
But they are.
You're right. They really are.
It's a shame, man.
And how about Jay Lethal? Is Jay Lethal going to get his first win? No way, right?
No.
Another loss.
Like you said, he's about the money. So, no, he will not win.
2 more losses headed your way next week. Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, will they continue their losing ways? Find out next week. Also, we're going to hear from Samoa Joe next week on Dynamite. And this is huge. The Von Erichs return to Dallas. I'm sure this is going to be to hype up the Iron Claw that MJF has to roll in.
That's the only Von Erich alive, I believe, right?
That,
The original.
The original, yes.
Yes.
Definitely. And I believe these are his sons.
Yeah, because the MGF plays like the cousin, but he's not really the cousin.
Yo, these guys got a good look, and they can probably wrestle their asses off, man, if Daddy trained them.
It's that Von Erichs were like, I always thought, I think Kerry was just better out of all of them, I believe. Or
now we're at the main
no,
event.
there was one that was more muscular. Who was that? I think he was the one that was
Texas Tornado.
Texas Tornado.
Yeah, he was in WWE as Texas Tornado. You don't remember him?
No, Kerry's other brother, what was his name? The one that was muscular that cut the great.
Kerry Von Erich was the one that looked like the Warrior, man.
Was it Kevin?
Kevin Von Erich is the one we just saw in the picture. Kerry Von Erich was the one.
I think it was Kerry, bro. I think Kerry was the best one.
Kerry was the one that had the biggest run in WWE. Yeah. As a matter of fact,
I think he had character.
Listen to this, Jay. When Ultimate Warrior would show a house show, they would use Kerry Von Erich as the Ultimate Warrior because he had the same body. He put the paint on, the hair. You couldn't tell the damn difference.
And Savage, I heard that HBO Max is trying to get a deal to get the Iron Claw streamed when it comes out.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, that's probably dude.
That'd be awesome, man.
What movie as of late hasn't come straight to streaming like within a month?
About to see Killers of the Flower Moon this weekend.
I actually want to see Aquaman, the new Aquaman. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I gotta see that at Christmas time. So
because we haven't seen a good comic book movie in a minute. The Flash was disappointing in my opinion. I didn't love that.
I kind of like Blue Beetle. I thought it was pretty alright.
No, Blue Beetle was good, but that's what was crazy about that is I was expecting it to be crap, and it was actually funny and entertaining.
It was funny, man.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Better than Ant-Man and the Marvels and all this other bullshit.
I didn't see Marvels, man.
Trash, man. I've been watching this show that was on Apple with what's his name? Idris Elba? Or Idris Elba? Alba Eldris, Alba Eldris, whatever his name is. If you see his picture, it's about a plane getting hijacked. And he's trying to like...
Oh, okay. I know. Yeah, I heard about it.
Idris Elba. You know Idris Elba? What's his name?
Yeah.
I'm going to share this screen. Yeah, we all know this guy. Yeah, anyway,
Black Superman.
Exactly, yeah. He has a lot of good shows. He has a show called Luther, if you've never heard of it, where he's a detective.
Yeah, I don't watch the show.
It's a show that's based in England. But anyway, we're at the main event.
There we go.
These two stupid Canadians that know each other are going to fight each other. And when this match was first announced, I was wondering, is Edge going to be the new champ? Like, is he actually going to go over? And I feel like this was a much better match than I expected. I didn't even expect us to even get the match that we got. I thought there was going to be shenanigans. I thought Luchasaurus was going to get involved. I thought, his other son, his new son, was going to get involved. That's not what we got, though. We got a match. We got a fight. And Christian was actually getting his ass kicked for a little bit. Then he comes back, does some damage. Edge hits a huge power bomb. Christian able to kick out. He was trying to make him tap out. They had like a double spear spot that looked brutal. And here's look at this. What'd you think about her coming out, Jay?
I predicted it. I mean, it was plain obvious when Copeland basically compared her son right in front of her. I said, Savage, she's gonna play a part in the match. I'm telling you. And this was it. But let me tell you, that belt hit that she did, that was pretty rough to see. That was pretty rough. I mean, she fell, for God's sake. So it was pretty rough. But overall, Savage, I'm going to tell you, if I was there, I felt like I just got my money robbed by AEW because this wasn't a match to me. They weren't really doing a match, I believe. They were just kind of buying time. And the referee did bad in this match too, Savage. He did bad. Before Cage kicked him in the nuts, I felt like he missed the spot that he was supposed to do to turn his back.
Yeah.
I felt that Cage was like, okay, I got to put an audible here. I got to kick him in the nuts because this guy don't know what he's doing. But I felt like we got robbed. I think you're right, Savage. December 30th, the rematch. But this was cool. Shayna adding an element. I like it, man. I like it.
I was a little more than I expected. Once I saw her come to the ring, I was like, oh, they're definitely going like, she's going heel. She's going to be Christian's new sugar mama, basically.
Maybe.
He's tapping that. They're together now. He's taking over the family. I mean, Christian's going for all-out super heel, and I dig that. And at the end of the day, he did what he had to do to walk away with his TNT championship. He's not losing it that easy. And this is definitely setting up the rematch. And it's going to get a little more personal. I guess we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here on All Elite Wrestling.
Definitely.
Do you give the show a thumbs up tonight, though, at least?
You know what? I'll go thumbs up because of Swerve. So I'll do that. It was match of the night. I liked it. It was a good match.
It was a good match. It really was.
I will go thumbs up. That Swerve match did it for me. Shayna did it for me. I like when Paige countered that spear and did the kill switch. I thought that was awesome.
What's cooking on SmackDown?
I don't know. Hopefully, this is I believe tribute to the troops, right? Is that the case? Is that CM Punk coming on this Friday?
Yeah.
Well, I don't expect much, Savage. I think they're gonna do the same thing they did at Raw. Bring him at the end, 5-10 minutes. That's it.
What I'm going to do right now before I end the show, because we are going to end the show, just to make sure you guys all understand, tomorrow, make sure you're watching the Party with Marty podcast, because here's a little 10-second, maybe 20-second little tease from tomorrow's show.
You're not a fucking fan if you're one of the boys. You can be one, but you can't be both. You know, don't fucking mark out on anybody. If you see someone you know from TV, fucking either introduce yourself or don't say shit. That's what I mean.
And that's your tease, all right? We got into it. We got into it last night with Rob Van Dam, and I fucking loved every minute.
He was going to a restaurant or something.
He's that's at a hotel in LA. Very nice hotel. Actually, one fan went up to him during the whole show and I started bothering him for a selfie. And I said, make sure you tell him he's crashing the party with Marty. Get him the fuck out of here. As you can hear, Rob very comfortable, talking very loose. You're gonna
was just outside, just on the whole.
Yeah, we did about an hour and a half, just like that.
Wow.
Trust me, bro, you're gonna hear shit you've never heard Rob talk about. I bet you have no idea how he invented Van Daminator.
Can't wait, man.
Have you ever heard that story? Right? I don't think anyone's ever asked him.
I gotta tune in tomorrow to find out.
You're gonna have to watch to find out. Yeah. I should next time I'm asking about the Van Terminator when he comes on Wrestling with Savage, because Rob Van Dam will be on Wrestling with Savage along with all the big stars of the wrestling world. Eventually, they won't have a choice but to come on Wrestling with Savage. Until next time, I'm out. Jay's out, and we'll see you next week right here on Wrestling with Savage.
Yes, let me do it.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.